Philippine Ambassador to Japan Jose Laurel V clarifies President Rodrigo Duterte's Japan trip was not a junket but could be a reward for his cabinet officials after admin poll victory. The Food and Drug Administration orders recall of pork-based products imported from countries reportedly affected by African swine fever. Container vans filled with garbage dumped by Canada in the Philippines, all set for repatriation this week. San Miguel legends assure fans of hard work at UNTV Cup off-season PBA Legends face-off. And a bus driver who brought his special child on his trip inspires netizens. Good evening. The top cabinet officials' trip to Japan together with President Rodrigo Duterte cannot be regarded as junket, says Ambassador Jose Laurel V. The Philippine ambassador to Japan assures the Philippine government did not spend any amount for the officials' travel as part of the Philippine delegation to the Future of Asia Summit. June Soriao explains why.
The administration bets dominated the recently concluded 2019 national and local elections in the country. It is said that this is proof of what President Rodrigo Duterte has accomplished in his 3 years in office. And as the president travels to Tokyo, Japan to attend the 25th International Conference on the Future of Asia, several cabinet officials fly together with him. As the chief executive is elated with the results of the recent polls, the trip and attendance to the summit are his reward to his top cabinet members, according to Ambassador Jose Laurel V.
Ito'y pabuya sa nakaraang eleksyon. Why do you bring 20 cabinet members here? Pati ang local government or land reform. Wala naman land reform dito.
When members of the media asked if the trip can be considered a junket, the ambassador said,
Hindi naman junket. And I can imagine that fellow who's 6 months younger than me, I think is also getting tired with the kind of lifestyle and schedule that he has. My impression is it's important that, you know, the cabinet is here for reasons that they may ask the Japanese.
Laurel stated that Japanese firm Nikkei shouldered the president's expenses as he is one of the keynote speakers in the summit that runs from May 30 to 31. President Duterte's delegation is composed of 200 members, including 16 cabinet officials. These aside from the delegation from the Filipino business community. The Future of Asia is an international gathering where political, economic, and academic leaders from the Asia-Pacific region offer their opinions frankly and freely on regional issues and the role of Asia in the world. Held by Nikkei every year since 1995, it is considered one of the most important global conferences in Asia. President Duterte is also set to meet with Japanese Prime Minister Abe Shinzo in Tokyo. According to data from the Philippine Embassy in Japan, there are 285,000 documented Filipinos here. But Ambassador Laurel added that this number is expected to increase by 50,000 this year because of the new law in Japan, which allows the entry and employment of foreign workers. There are job opportunities in manufacturing and caregiving industry, as well as employment nurses and IT personnel. June Soriao, UNTV News and Rescue, Tokyo, Japan.
President Rodrigo Duterte certifies urgent the tobacco tax hike bill. The proposal, which aims to increase the excise tax on tobacco products, has been endorsed to the Senate plenary. The measure proposes to raise the excise tax for every cigarette pack from 35 to 60 pesos for the next 4 years. This has been confirmed by Justice Secretary Menardo Guevara, who is also designated by President Duterte as the caretaker or officer in charge of the executive department, while the president is on an official trip to Japan from May 28 to June 1. Foreign Affairs Secretary Teodoro Locsin Jr. confirmed on Monday that all 69 containers of illegally shipped garbage are all set for repatriation to Canada. In his tweet, Locsin said the containers of garbage are scheduled to be shipped back to the North America country on Thursday following fumigation in Subic. President Rodrigo Duterte did not allow the delay of repatriation of the garbage shipment, even as the Canadian government already hired a private firm to ship them back to Canada by end of June. Canada missed the May 15 deadline of taking back the trash shipment, which led to the recall of Philippine diplomats in Canada. Malacanang also directed Philippine government officials to refrain from traveling to Canada or giving travel authorities for official trips to Canada. They are likewise directed to limit interactions with the Canadian government. President Rodrigo Duterte appoints Ramon Tulfo Jr. again as a special envoy for public diplomacy of the President to the People's Republic of China. According to Malacanang, Tulfo has a 6-month term as a special envoy to China. This is the second time the broadcaster is appointed to the post. The first was in October 2018. It can be noted some labor groups slammed Tulfo in March when he preferred Chinese workers who he said are hardworking, while he described some Filipino construction workers as lazy and slowpoke. The Food and Drug Administration recalls pork and pork products in the local market manufactured in African swine fever-affected countries from August 2018 to present. Authorities have set preventive measures in place to prevent the entry of the deadly pig virus in the Philippines. Ray Pelayo explains why.
The Philippine Food and Drug Administration, or FDA, has ordered a market recall of all pork-based products manufactured in countries affected by the deadly hog virus, African Swine Fever or ASF. The recall order includes canned goods like luncheon meat and processed pork with manufacturing date from August 2018 when the country's import ban on pork took effect up to present. The agency also calls on traders not to sell such products anymore. According to Health Undersecretary and FDA Officer in Charge, Eric Domingo, ASF is highly contagious and the risk is high, especially when contamination spreads into the country's swine industry. Domingo cited a recent study which reveals the possibility of ASF virus could still survive even the highest temperature during processing. Though there is no record proof of human transmission, the ASF virus present in processed pork or pork-based products may pose a threat to live pigs.
But in this case, we are banning these products primarily because of food security. No? Ang mabilis kasing mag-spread itong swine flu, no? Itong African swine flu, and it affects livestock.
The FDA has rolled out an investigation as to how the pork products were able to enter the country despite the Department of Agriculture or DA's import ban that started in August 2018. Domingo added that since the import ban took effect, the issuance of import permit was also put on hold, thus the entry of such items is definitely questionable.
Wala naman kasing binibigay na Certificate of Product Registration ng FDA since late last year, so hindi na dapat yan na ipapasok sa Pilipinas.
ASF cases were first reported in Africa and several European countries. The outbreak of the virus killed millions of pigs in China last year, and just this year, the virus further spread to its neighboring countries, Mongolia, Vietnam, and Cambodia. Based on records from the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, the ASF virus has already killed about 2.6 million pigs in those countries.
Ang pinakikiusap namin sa mga nagtitinda mismo, kung meron po sila ng mga produkto, ng mga meat products na delata na nanggaling doon sa mga bansa na binanggit natin, sana i-recall na nila sila na mismo, itago na nila, wag na nila ibenta at i-report nila sa amin para matrace natin kung saan nanggaling at make sure lang na hindi na po ito kumalat.
At present, the DA's Bureau of Quarantine have foot baths in places at international airports across the country for passengers coming from ASF-affected countries.
Posibleng hindi nakarating sa kanila, posibleng hindi nila nabasa. But upon arriving at the airport of entry, sinabihan ka ng quarantine na hindi pwede pagpupumilit mo ba? At ang gagamitin mong dahilan na hindi mo alam? Hindi naman pwedeng ganun eh.
The agency will request for additional K9 units and the installation of X-ray machines to screen passengers' baggage. Confiscated banned products will be destroyed or burned according to the DA. Ray Pelayo, UNTV, News and Rescue, Muntinlupa City.
Legends of Philippine basketball return to the hardcourt once again for the UNTV Cup off-season PBA Legends Face-Off. The San Miguel team assures their fans of hard work on the hardwood for the charity element of the tournament. Vincent Arboleda will tell us why.
Heart-pounding action awaits Filipino basketball fans as the legendary players of the Philippine basketball scene take to the Pasig City Sports Center hardwood beginning June 2 for the UNTV Cup off-season PBA Legends Face-Off. The legendary star players of Alaska, Ginebra San Miguel, Pure Foods and San Miguel teams gear up for their much-anticipated comeback. For them, this is another chance to bring back the good old days.
Sobrang nakakatuwa itong mga ganitong okasyon, ano? Biro mo, ngayon lang ulit, nakita-kita na naman yung mga mga veterano na sa basketball. So sobrang saya, at least nagkaroon kami ng time na magsama-sama ulit.
Sobrang laking bagay, lalo na sa mga kagaya namin, PBA Legends. Kailangan din talaga namin maglaro, pawisan, pero mas napaka-importante nito kasi bumalik yung rivalry namin.
Aside from the excitement and thrill for the fans, the basketball legends will play for the benefit of their fellow ballers and former PBA players through the PBA Legends Foundation.
It's very special kasi this is a chance na naman na makatulong sa aming mga kapwa players, ex-PBA players, dahil kung sino man magcha-champion dito o kung ano maging placing namin, meron na namang contribution na ibibigay o donation na ibibigay si Kuya Daniel para sa foundation namin. Kaya excited kami lahat para dito. And ayun, seryoso ang apat na teams dahil pinag-usapan dito yung bragging rights eh.
The PBA Legends San Miguel team includes Ato Agustin, Dondon Honteveros, Nelson Asaytono, Olsen Racela, Bong Alvarez, Nick Velasco, Danny Ildefonso, Arnold Gamboa, Kiko Adriano, Danny Siegel, and Chris Calagio. A 2 million peso prize awaits the four teams to be donated to the PBA Legends Foundation.
Una sa lahat, magpapasalamat ako kay Kuya Daniel at sa walang sawang pagsuporta sa aming mga PBA Legends at sa aming foundation. And inaanyayahan ko po lahat ng mga basketball fans, yung mga fans namin nung araw. May chance na naman po kayong mapanood kami sa June 2 dito po sa Pasig Sports Center.
Sana po suportahan nyo kami. Ito po ay hindi para sa amin lang, kundi para po sa mga kagaya namin PBA Legends na dapat namin tulungan kasi may charity po ito. Sana po manood kayo.
Porta natin San Miguel at siyempre yung ibang teams din. Magkita-kita po tayo at sisiguro din po namin na mag-i-enjoy kayo.
The tournament will run in the entire month of June. Vincent Arboleda, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
Photos of a man who takes his child with special needs with him while working as a bus driver has gone viral on social media. Joanano tells us why.
These are the photos taken by Marivic Natividad, which she uploaded to her social media account. These pictures show a bus driver along with his child with special needs that he takes with him while driving to earn further living. These images have recently gone viral on social media. Marivic shared that she was touched by the special bond she saw between the bus driver and his child. She was even more fascinated when she witnessed how the boy actively assisted his father's passengers.
Nasa Mindanao Avenue na po kami noon. Biglang biglang nagsasalita na siya ng yung mga bababaan ng mga passenger. Alam niya yung St. James, alam niya yung Road 20, yung mga ganun. Sinisigaw niya rin. Tapos nagulat ako, lumalapit po siya dun sa sa driver. Yung driver hindi siya pinapansin. Usual po kasi diba yung mga driver na, ay wag ka maingay, yung mga ganon. Siya po, tahimik lang po yung driver, tapos nakikinig lang din sa kanya. Tapos yun pa yung bata, bigla siyang lumipat po dun sa father niya. Ang pagkalipat niya nga po, dito siya sa, yung pinagsiksikan niya yung sarili niya dito sa may bintana para makalikid siya dun sa yung pala father niya. Kasi biglang sabi niya, Papa, dito.
The UNTV news team was able to locate the bus driver, Antonio Antokya, and his son Joshua. Every day, Antonio drives a bus through the Fairview-Alabang route. He said that he sometimes brings Joshua with him so that his wife can sell coffee and egg for additional income for their family. Despite Joshua's special condition, Antonio is very proud of his son.
Hindi siya hirap dalhin. Upo lang siya. Yan, pagdating namin sa Alabang, ayusin niya yung mga, kunyari, sinusuksok sa pasahero to. Ayusin niya yan, itali niya yan. Kunin niya yung mga ticket. Tapo niya dito. Mano siya marunong.
Joshua is the second child of Antonio and his wife. Antonio said Joshua is the sweetest among his children.
Mabait po yan. Kahit ganyan lang yan. Mabait po yan. Kahit ganyan lang yan. Para siyang normal pag ano. O minsan, galing ako sa biyahe, bigyan niya ako ng damit, pinupunasan nga ako niyan eh. O Antonio, kahit gano'n siya, Antonio, ito, damit mo. Tapos punasan niya ako. Hinihilot ako niyan, ma'am.
Although he earns not that large of an income out of driving, for Antonio, his children are his inspiration to strive hard.
Masarap pagtrabaho, ma'am, na may ano eh. Mahal ko talaga. Kaya mga anak ko lahat, mahal ko naman. So, natakot ako pag ako mawala. Paano to? Hirap kasi ito, ma'am. May magsawa ang mga kapatid nito. Kung saan-saan ito kalat yata pag hula ko. Yun ang kinatakutan ko.
Although Joshua has a special condition, Antonio is still grateful that they were blessed with a loving child that he will take care of for the rest of his life.
Masabi ko lang dito sa kay Joshua, kahit ganito ito, mahal na mahal ko talaga itong batang ito. Sobrang pagmamahal ko dito. Alam mo, pagka wala ako sa bahay, tinatawagan ko sila, nakakain na ba ito? Mahal ko talaga ito. Kasi, yari, babiyahe ako ng Davao. Tatawag yan. 3 araw pala na ako sabihin na, Papa, uwi ka na, miss na kita. Mahal naman kita.
John Nano, UNTV News and Rescue.
The issues of new groups and chairmanships in the upcoming 18th Congress surface in the Senate. Senator Manny Pacquiao admits there are issues among the incoming senators who want to handle Senate committees. Nel Maribojo explains why.
The new compositions and groups within the upper house of Congress have been apparent. This ahead of the opening of the 18th Congress in July 2019. These groups are the Hugpong ng Pagbabago Partido Demokratiko Pilipino or HNP-PDP bloc, whose members are neophytes and re-electionist senators. The Macho bloc of Senators Tito Soto III, Panfilo Lacson, Grace Poe, and Lito Lapid. Seatmates bloc of Senators Miguel Subiri, Richard Gordon, Sani Angara, Win Gatchalian, Nancy Binay, and Joel Villanueva, and 4 senators belonging to the minority bloc. According to Senate President Soto, he is not threatened by the HNP-PDP bloc. He believes that majority of his fellow senators remain supportive of his leadership.
Well, I know for a fact that I have the support of at least about 15 or 16.
Senate Majority Leader Juan Miguel Zubiri said the issue now is the chairmanships of the incoming senators and not the changing of the leadership.
So I think the HNP bloc, we will respect them. I think they're organizing for their committees. I think it's a battle between committees.
Senator Manny Pacquiao admitted that indeed there are issues on some of the incoming senators who want specific committees in the Senate.
Yung gusto nilang committee, hawak ng kasama din natin na incumbent. So, mahirap naman, siyempre, parang insulto doon sa kung hindi niya ibibigay yung committee, may insulto naman sa senador yun na kasama din naman natin.
According to tradition, an incumbent senator who currently chairs a committee will remain unless they voluntarily give the committee up to another senator. A senator may also get a committee chairmanship upon the approval of the majority of the senators in the plenary. Nel Maribojo, UNTV News and Rescue, Senate of the Philippines.
Some motorists experienced difficulty traveling today due to the Marcos Highway Bridge closure. While the traffic situation on Marcos Highway is expected to worsen in the coming months, the government has set alternate routes motorists can take. April Senadoza tells us why.
Motorists who take the Marcos Highway or the Marikina Infanta Highway need to be more patient as they are about to experience heavy traffic in the next months. This after the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority or MMDA closed the eastbound portion of the Marcos Highway Bridge beginning Saturday for the rehabilitation of the bridge. The Marcos Highway Bridge connects Katipunan Avenue in Quezon City and Marikina City, including Taytay and Antipolo in Rizal. Every hour, over 6,000 motorists fly through the bridge according to the government. As a result, some motorists bound for Kogyo Antipolo are having difficulty in their trips due to heavy traffic.
Mahirap po kasi matraffic. Kahapon, tulad kahapon, sobrang traffic. Saan Boni Serrano para maluwag na dito. Diretso na dun sa SM Marikina.
Nagtsatsaga na lang po. Kasi traffic talaga wala tayong magagawa. Minsan pagka sobrang traffic na talaga, pagkalangan sa oras, cutting trip na lang talaga gagawin.
Tsaka na lang po sa traffic po, ma'am. Wala kami magagawa, ginawa ng senaraduan ayusin
The traffic situation is expected to worsen as students go back to school on Monday.
Volume lang ma'am ng mga sasakyan natin. Gawa nung siyempre yung kailangan lagi kami aware sa karsada. Prepare para doon sa mga bugso ng mga estudyante, then bugso rin ng mga sasakyan. Dahil yun ang oras na talaga kinakailangan namin magdoble sikap para mapaluwag natin at maserbisyo ng magandang taong bayan.
In response to the closure, the government has set alternative routes that motorists can take. Cubao to Antipolo route. From Cubao, take Aurora Boulevard, then right turn to Katipunan Avenue. Take the service road of Libis Underpass. Left turn to Boni Serrano and take FVR Road, straight to Macapagal Bridge, then Marcos Highway to Antipolo. From Cubao, right turn to 15th Avenue, then left turn to Boni Serrano. Take FVR Road, straight to Macapagal Bridge, then Marcos Highway to Antipolo. Trucks from Cubao to Antipolo route. From Cubao, take Aurora Boulevard, then right turn to Katipunan Avenue. Take service road of Libis Underpass. Left turn to Boni Serrano, straight to FVR Road, take Macapagal Bridge, then Sumulong Highway to Antipolo. Antipolo to Cubao routes. From Antipolo, take Sumulong Highway, then A. Bonifacio Avenue, straight ahead Aurora Boulevard to Cubao. From Antipolo, take Marcos Highway and right turn to Fernando Avenue, then take A. Bonifacio Avenue, straight ahead Aurora Boulevard to Cubao. From Antipolo, take Marcos Highway, take downtown to Marcos Bridge Service Road, then FVR Road, straight ahead right turn to Katipunan Avenue, left turn to Aurora Boulevard, straight ahead to Cubao. From Antipolo, take Marcos Highway, then FVR Road, straight ahead take Boni Serrano Avenue, then right turn to 20th Avenue, left turn to Aurora Boulevard to Cubao. Trucks from Antipolo to Cubao route. From Antipolo, take Marcos Highway, then FVR Road, straight ahead, right turn to Katipunan Avenue, left turn to Aurora Boulevard, straight ahead to Cubao. The 4-month shutdown, according to MMDA General Manager Jojo Garcia, is to give way to the rehabilitation of the 30-year-old structure. April Senadoza, UNTV News and Rescue, Cubao, Quezon City.
Meanwhile, a school in Bacolod City is in need of some 3,000 armchairs for students. Meanwhile, a non-governmental organization donates school supplies to school children in Rizal. Lalaine Moreno tells us why.
Negros Occidental High School in Bacolod City needs almost 3,000 armchairs as the school year 2019-2020 begins on Monday. According to school principal Mario Amaca, this is because the number of their enrollees increased this year. The construction of the building for senior high school is underway, but Principal Amaca said it will be used this school year. But for now, each student is encouraged to bring his own chair to be used during their classes.
Kailangan mo additional chairs, no? Kahit kayo mahuman ang building sa senior high school, wala pa na bangko. That's why mo nang request kita Pero pangita man kita pamaagi nga daw hindi man isa major problem nga wala pong kuan ng kabataan. Kung wala ti padaluntang kabataan bang ko yun problema yan.
Elsewhere, the students of Alice Asin Elementary School in Tanay Rizal are happy after receiving free school supplies from a non-governmental organization or NGO. Eric Reyes of Impact said they aim to encourage the school children to study hard despite their condition.
Ba't di na lang magbigay ng school supplies sa mga bata? Kasi nakita ko rin, walang tindahan dito ng mga ganyan. Para makabili ka, kailangan lumabas pa ng bayan para makakuha ng school supplies.
Yung iba po ay galing sa siguro mga 2 hours yon. Minsan galing pa silang bundok. Minsan walang uniform. Thank you.
Lalaine Moreno, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
The Department of Health or DOH warns the public to take good care of their health as rains have been frequently experienced recently. The Health Department also reports tens of thousands of recorded dengue cases since January this year. Aiko Miguel tells us why.
Based on data from the Department of Health or DOH, there have been more than 74,000 recorded dengue cases in the country from January 1 to May 11, 2019. This number is expected to increase as the rainy season approaches, the DOH said.
Yung mga hospitals natin, ready na yan. Pag ganitong tag-ulan, we have yung dengue lanes natin, i-activate na natin yan. At syempre yung ding mga gamot natin na nakastock, hindi lang para sa dengue, no, para sa leptospirosis din. Pag dagdating na ng mga unang baha natin, ito usually most dangerous eh.
The DOH reminds the public to remove stagnant water in their surroundings to prevent dengue-carrying mosquitoes from breeding.
We have to protect the children. Pag magpapasukan na, sana po pasuotin ng damit na protektado sila, pantalon, long sleeves, lagyan ng insect repellent just to make sure na hindi makagat yung mga bata during the day.
The DOH also strictly reminds the public to avoid taking any kind of medicine, especially antibiotics, when they have a fever or cough and colds. This is to prevent antimicrobial resistance, which means medicines will not be effective in combating germs and parasites inside one's body.
Ang pag-inom po ng maling antibiotic at saka pag-take dito ng hindi tamang schedule ay maaaring maging sanhi, no, para magkaroon tayo ng antimicrobial resistance. At ito is one of the challenges na nakikita natin hindi lang sa Pilipinas, kundi sa buong mundo in the next few years.
It is best to consult a doctor first before taking any medicine, the DOH advised. The Health Department also warns the public against other wild diseases during the rainy season. These include waterborne diseases, influenza, and leptospirosis aside from dengue. Waterborne disease are those acquired from contaminated water and food like cholera and typhoid fever. The symptoms of waterborne diseases are diarrhea, vomiting, and dehydration. High fever, headache, and diarrhea are the symptoms of typhoid fever, while the symptoms of influenza or flu are fever, cough, and colds. The flu virus is easily transmitted to humans during the rainy season because of the low or cold temperature. Leptospirosis is a bacterial infection which can be acquired from wading in flood water contaminated with blood, tissue, or urine of rodents and other animals infected with the Leptospira bacteria. People with wounds or lesions who often wade in flood water unprotected can easily get leptospirosis. The DOH advises the public who usually wade in flood water to get doctor's prescription of antibiotics to avoid contracting leptospirosis. Aiko Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue, Muntinlupa City.
Intentional or not, various photos of funny signages are now trending on social media. Mon Hokson tells us why.
Signage is a great help to convey messages to the public. But sometimes, instead of being informative, signage can cause confusion. Here is a collection of hilarious signs that have been the talk on social media. This signage in a clothing store is quite confusing. The store sells long sleeveless. Wait, what? Long sleeveless. This bag seems to be a victim. Sling bags are available in this shop instead of sling bags. Elsewhere, these men's tops have quite a design. they have a plural design? Or do they mean floral? Are you in need of protection for your cell phones? If you are sweet to your precious phone, it deserves a cell phone kissing. It's quite affordable for only 20 pesos. If you need comfort while sleeping, and if you are a fan of poetry, you might need these. A bed that comes with a poem. You might become poetic when you wake up the next morning. This ad is surely not pleasing. If you do not use swear words, don't read this sign that says, I don't think I would read it out loud. Are you hungry? Have a sip of hot soup. But I'm confused if this sign means something to fill your stomach with, or are these new brands of soap? And after eating, it's refreshing to drink something ice cold. But upon reading this, I don't think I can drink this. Ice cold what? Well, you will be annoyed when you dine here at Mang Inasar. If you love to bake, don't forget to use baking soda. And you might argue with the receptionist of this motel when they insist they operate for 24 hours. But this sign says 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. Just do the math. You will have so many questions when you study here in Bakit Elementary School. Why oh why? This elevator signage is very confusing. Make up your mind. Can we use the elevator or not? Intentional or not, the signs are hilarious. Undeniably, the Filipinos' sense of humor is really unique in the world. In fact, the UN Sustainable Development Solutions Network ranked the Philippines the 69th happiest out of 156 countries this year. Mon Hokson, UNTV News and Rescue.
There is no provision in the Philippine Constitution that prohibits relatives from heading to branches of government, according to some political analysts. They say there is nothing wrong if the president's son becomes the House Speaker. Rosalie Cos tells us why.
If presidential son and Davao City 1st District Representative-elect Paulo Pulong Duterte will push his speakership bid, it is not a case of nepotism. Nepotism is the practice of showing favoritism toward one's family members or friends in economic, employment, or political terms. According to political analyst Dr. Clarita Carlos, this is because the legislative and executive branch, which Pulong's father, President Rodrigo Duterte, heads, are different. Dr. Carlos also does not believe this will lead to constitutional crisis.
Presidential, wala namang kaso yun. Miski anak niya o kapatid niya or wherever yung speaker sa House. Kasi iisa lang naman yung speaker. There are 297 others members of the House of Representatives. Mag-isa lang naman yung tao, hindi siya makakagawa ng batas. Kailangan niya yung majority ng 298, diba?
On the other hand, according to political analyst Dr. Edna Co and Professor Edmond Tayaw, no constitutional provision prohibits a father and son to lead different branches of government. Co said that because of delicadeza, however, they refrain from such condition in the Philippine government. On the other hand, Carlos is doubtful on Pulong being elected as the House Speaker.
Yung anak naman niya, does not have the numbers. I was just talking to somebody who knows the inside. Martin Romualdez has the numbers.
The issue began to be the talk of the town after President Duterte's warning yesterday of stepping down if Pulong runs as the Speaker of the House. He said it does not sit well for people to see many members of the Duterte family run the government. But Pulong insisted he did not say he wanted to be the House Speaker. Meanwhile, for the political analysts, President Duterte's remaining 3 years in his term are very important to push for his legislative measures.
We do not need this drama dahil 1,000 days na lang ang Pangulo at kailangan mag-push talaga ng constitutional amendment.
Yung second half, kung tutusin niya ng pinakamahalaga, kasi yan na yung nagbibigay udyat na kulang na ang panahon ng administrasyon. Kaya sa madaling sabi, lahat ng mga nakabimbing na proyekto, lahat ng mga nakabimbing na ipinangako nung pagtakbo nila sa eleksyon, kailangan magawa doon sa natitirang 3 taong panahon.
Rosa Licoz, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
In other news, Malaysia's last male Sumatran rhinoceros has died, an official said on Monday, dashing efforts to save the critically endangered species in the country. The rhino, named Tam, was about 30 years old and lived at a wildlife reserve in Sabah State on Borneo Island since his capture in 2008. The Sumatran rhino, the smallest species of rhinoceros, was declared extinct in the wild in Malaysia in 2015. Iman, a female captured in 2014, is now the only surviving member of the subspecies left in the country. And for the news abroad, here's Kath Dumaraos live from Bangkok, Thailand. Kath, good evening.
Good evening, William. The already storm-ravaged central United States is bracing for more severe weather. Beverly Saison will tell us why.
Flooded Arkansas and Oklahoma were bracing for more rain that will feed the already swollen Arkansas River as Missouri deployed the National Guard in anticipation for further storms. With millions of Americans under flood warnings on the Memorial Day holiday, Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, and Illinois got deluged, while Oklahoma and Arkansas got a reprieve for the most part.
This is a very catastrophic, not over yet scenario that we're dealing with right now, and people have to be informed, and we have to unify the message and let people know exactly where to go, and it's going to take a community effort, not only in the near term, but in the long term.
The National Weather Service's Weather Prediction Center said floodwaters may take weeks to recede as the heavy rains upriver will take time to drain. The pattern of drenching thunderstorms and tornadoes, which has been recurring in the Central Plains states since last week, has caused flooding in several river cities. All 77 Oklahoma counties were under a state of emergency, a spokeswoman for the Oklahoma Department of Emergency Management said. The city of El Reno was still cleaning up from the tornado that killed 2 people and injured 29 on Saturday.
People have absolutely lost everything. You're not going to believe the devastation. You've seen some of the pictures of those poor families that were in that trailer house.
In Tulsa, officials were monitoring the Arkansas River after the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers raised the flow at the upriver Keystone Dam by 65% since last week to 275,000 cubic feet per second. The heavier flow is testing 2 aging levees in Tulsa, the city of Tulsa said. Flooding and severe weather have killed 6 and injured 107 in Oklahoma, state officials said. In neighboring Missouri, Governor Mike Parson on Monday activated the National Guard to respond to flooding and prepare for severe storms this week, his officials said in a statement. Tornadoes and severe storms that slammed the state last week killed 3 people and destroyed or damaged hundreds of homes. Arkansas and Oklahoma have already activated their National Guard forces. As the Central Plains dealt with rain, a heat wave set records daily temperatures in parts of the U.S. Southeast, where the mercury rose 10 to 15 degrees Fahrenheit above normal for this time of year, the National Weather Service said. Savannah, Georgia hit 99 degrees Fahrenheit or 37 degrees Celsius, breaking a record for the day of 98 degrees set on May 27, 1989. Macon, Georgia also hit 99, tying a record set in 1953. Beverly Saison, UNTV News and Rescue, USA.
It's on the bucket list for adventurers around the world, but now there's concern the popularity of Mount Everest has turned more fatal than ever. Ferdy Petalio will tell us why.
An Indian mountaineer who was forced to turn back before summiting Mount Everest said on Monday that the lack of trained guides and delays on the crowded route up to the 29,035 feet summit were key factors in the spate of deaths on the mountain. Riza Ali, an 18-year-old climber from India's Kashmir, said that the massive traffic jams up to the mountain had made scaling the world's most sought-after climb a death race. Ali said he was distraught after he had to abort his climb to the summit from Camp 4, less than 1,000 meters from the top. because of a faulty oxygen regulator, and that walking away from a lifelong dream was the toughest decision of his life.
Government of Nepal, they should limit the number of climbers for 1 year or season, and they should check probably like how is a climber actually, like is he a certified climber, has he climbed some mountains before, is he an experienced guy, is he healthy, like they should check all the things which a big expedition needs. And 8,000 meters is not a small mountain, it's a big mountain, so they should really check into it.
Meanwhile, an American climber also died on the descent from the summit of Mount Everest on Monday, taking the number of dead or missing mountaineers on the world's highest mountain to 9 on the Nepalese side during the current climbing season. Christopher John Kulish, 61, scaled the peak from the normal southeast ridge route in the morning, but died suddenly at South Col after descending from the summit, Meera Acharya, a Nepal Tourism Department official said. Most of the deaths on Everest this year had been attributed to exhaustion and tiredness, exacerbated because a crowded route to and from the summit has led to delays. The short climbing season ends this month. About 5,000 people have scaled the Everest summit so far, and about 300 have died on its slopes. Ferdy Petalio, UNTV News and Rescue.
Ukraine's former comedian president searches for highly moral candidates to fight snap election. Jovic Burmas will tell us why.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's team on Monday invited applications from members of the public to fight a snap election in July for his new servant of the People Party, betting they can wrench power from a discredited political class. Candidates who, like the former comedian, need not have previous political experience, can apply through a website to tout their credentials and proposals for new laws, officials said at the launch of the party's campaign. The applicants would then be screened with the help of international companies. Officials from the party, named after the television show that made him famous, might use a lie detector to test the candidate's honesty. Zelensky's party has no lawmakers in parliament. Winning the snap election would allow him to decide the makeup of a new government and implement reforms that might please his voters and Ukraine's international donors. Opinion polls suggest Zelensky's party will win the July election but fall short of a majority. Comedian Zelensky won last month's presidential election by a landslide, promising to fight corruption and a new way of doing politics in one of Europe's poorest countries. Monday's announcement is in keeping with Zelensky's unorthodox campaigning style. In the presidential race, he relied heavily on social media posts and comedy gigs while eschewing traditional rallies. He crowdsourced policy ideas on Facebook. In the TV show, Zelensky played a history teacher who accidentally becomes president after a video of him ranting about corruption goes viral. His Servant of the People Party is named after the show, and its logo is a man holding the presidential mace while riding a bicycle. Zelensky's character rides a bicycle in the opening credits of the series. Jovic Burmas, UNTV News and Rescue, Europe.
And those are the news from the other parts of the globe. Back to you, William.
Thank you very much, Kath de Maraos, reporting live from Bangkok, Thailand. Soccer fans come to Madrid to strike a pose beside the Champions League trophy ahead of the finals on June 1st. Meanwhile, young cricket enthusiasts in Afghanistan indulge themselves in the sport ahead of the Cricket World Cup, where the Afghanistan team will take part in. Asher Kadapan Jr. tells us why.
The Champions League trophy was on display in Madrid on Monday, attracting soccer fans, young and old, who posed next to the coveted piece of silverware but were not allowed to touch it. Madrid is expecting thousands of fans to descend on the Spanish capital ahead of the Tottenham versus Liverpool final on June 1, and the city is preparing to entertain its guests with fan zones and various activities in the days ahead. Fans will be able to pose for photos next to the Champions League trophy until May 29, Madrid City Hall said. It is on display at the Tourist Center in the Central Plaza Mayor Square. Meanwhile, the ICC Cricket World Cup starts on May 31, and Afghanistan's hopes of making a dent in the tournament are higher than they have ever been, even if few give them a chance against giants of the game such as India, Australia, or England. With the approach of the Cricket World Cup, excitement is in the air in Afghanistan among the country's young and growing fans. But the matches will be beamed into homes all over the country, scores of fans will watch, and many will be inspired to practice their batting or bowling with hopes of becoming like their heroes someday soon. Asher Kadapan Jr., UNTV News and Rescue.
People can now create their own 3D printed dietary supplements which are customized to them. Mirasol Abogadil will tell us why.
A Birmingham-based company showed their fruit gum-like edible stacks for members of the food and drink business community at London Food Tech Week, a week-long series of events for the industry. Customers take an online questionnaire about their lifestyle and diet to establish what additional vitamins and other ingredients they need. They can also select from a list.
If you're vegan, the chances of you being deficient in things like iron or vitamin D is much more common. If you are running a marathon, you might need some more things that will protect your joints, like glucosamine. If you sit in front of a TV all day long or a screen or a computer, it might mean that you need some vitamin A to be able to protect your eyes.
Nourished claims to be the first company that can 3D print 7 separate layers to build a piece of food. 28 of the stacks are delivered monthly to customers for a monthly fee of $50 or $458 annually.
By using 3D printing and by using really accurate measurement techniques and retraction, we're able to ensure that the dosaging is absolutely correct on every single one of the personalized items we create, and this makes it scalable and makes it really expandable as well.
The edibles are held together using a vegan gelling agent. Sugar substitute maltitol and natural sweeteners give them a sugary flavor. Nourished is launching in the UK in August and targeting the US market in early 2020. Mirasol Abogadil, UNTV News and Rescue.
Young prodigies get set for the U.S. National Spelling Bee. Nina Armilio will tell us why.
Aicha Randawa, Sky Lewitt, and Sakath Sundar know what it takes to win the National Spelling Bee: discipline, perseverance, and sacrifice. They are 3 of the 565 hopefuls that survived a winnowing process that began with 11 million students vying in preliminary tournaments around the world. They will be competing at the Scripps National Spelling Bee this week in Maryland, USA. They all train like high-performing athletes, and getting crowned the Bee's champ would mean validation for all their hard work.
Usually on school days, I spend about 3 to 4 hours on spelling each day, and then on the weekend it's about 5 to 6 hours per day.
Well, when you're on stage, it's like a different feeling than when I'm sitting at home and quizzing for my mom. There's like the whole atmosphere there. There's like millions of people watching at home, and then there's lots of cameras clicking.
I really love to read. Like if I find a good book, I can't put it down until I finish it. Sometimes I read a whole novel in one sitting, and yeah. I think that's also what kind of got me in the spelling path.
Have a lot in common. They are avid readers, multi-talented, and have great family support. And above all, they really want to spell their way to victory. They are mature enough to credit the competition with far more than teaching them how to ace spelling. They know how to handle failure and come back stronger. Nina Armilio, UNTV News and Rescue.
And those are the reasons behind the news this May 28, 2019. On behalf of Alex Baltazar, I am William Theo, and before we close, we will recap with today's significant sound bites. Because we need to know, we will always ask why. Good evening.
ito'y pabuya sa nakaraang eleksyon. Why do you bring 20 cabinet members here? Pati ang local government or land reform. Wala naman land reform dito. Hindi naman junket.
Yung gusto nilang komite, hawak ng kasama din natin na incumbent. So, mahirap naman, siyempre, parang insulto doon sa kung hindi ibibigay yung komite, may insulto naman sa senador yun na kasama din naman natin.
Wala namang kaso yun. Iski anak niya o kapatid niya or wherever yung speaker sa house. Kasi iisa lang naman yung speaker. There are 297 others, members of the House of Representatives. Pag isa lang naman yung tao, hindi siya makakagawa ng batas. Kailangan niya yung majority ng 298.
It's very special kasi this is our chance na naman na makatulong sa aming mga kapwa players, ex-PBA players, dahil kung sino man magcha-champion dito o kung ano maging placing namin, meron na namang contribution na ibibigay o donation na ibibigay si Kuya Daniel para sa foundation namin. Kaya excited kami lahat para dito.
Mahal ko talaga. Kasi, yari, babiyaya ko ng Davao. Tatawag yan. 3 araw pala na ako sabihin na, Papa, uwi ka na, miss na kita.
Mahal naman kita.